Welcome to Mighty Mornings. I'm Mary.
And I'm Lindsay. Let's dive in. Welcome to Mighty Mornings. I am Coach Lindsay, and today we're going to talk about a very important topic on exercise modifications. So to preface why modifications are important, they're important to protect any joint issues that you have, any pain that you have in your joints. They're also important because it allows you an option to do a certain exercise or a certain movement just in a different way with the exact same benefit. So today, the joint that we're going to talk about is our knees. A lot of times, especially as we get older, we have a lot of joint issues, especially in the knees, varying from just overuse or recent surgeries, replacements, and stuff like that. So our first exercise that we're going to talk about today is a lunge. So to show you what a typical lunge looks like, we usually start with our feet shoulder width apart. We take a step back and we come down. So as you can see, we have a bend in the knee in the leading leg, a bend in the knee in the back leg, and then we usually come back up and come together. However, that can create a lot of strain on both knee joints. So your modification would be to start still with your feet shoulder width apart. Hands can come on the hips for balance. The only difference is we're gonna take a big step back. We're gonna have a slight bend in the knee, and then we're gonna bring those legs together. So a lot less strain on those knees, but you still get the same motion as a lunge. So normal lunge, we step back, we come down, we come up and together, and then your modification would be to step back, making sure that your heel on that back leg touches the ground. You can have a slight bend in the knee, and then you come together. So that is your first modification for a lunge. Your second exercise today is a squat. So a squat can be very intimidating to most. However, squatting is one of the best exercises we can do. It's a full body exercise. It engages our core, our legs, even our arms and upper body a little bit. So I'll show you what a traditional squat looks like, and we have a few modifications that you can do for a squat. So traditionally, your squat is feet shoulder width apart. Your hands can come at your hips or in front, and we sit back on our heels. So our knees stay in line with our toes. We come down as far as we can, usually a good 45 to 90 degree angle, and then we come back up. Again, that can create a lot of stress on our legs and our knees. So a couple modifications that I want to show you to be able to do that same squat movement just with low impact. The first option is a squat pulse. So what we do is we start with that squat, same thing, feet shoulder width apart. We have our arms out, we sit down just slightly, and then we come back up. So you're still engaging the core here, you're still working on the hamstrings and the glutes, but you're not coming down as far as a traditional squat. So that's your modification one. Another modification is using a chair or a counter, back of a couch, and you start with your feet shoulder width apart. Rest your hands on that chair and you can squat down. So what this does is kind of force your weight to go into your upper body and allowing a little bit of extra support with those knees. So that is modification number two. Number three, you're still gonna use your chair, but we're gonna use it to sit down in. And so what we do here is we make sure our feet are shoulder width apart, our arms are out. We come down, we sit down in our chair, and then we stand back up. This is one of my favorite modifications because you're still getting full range of motion as a normal squat. However, you're taking a lot of the pressure off of the knees by taking a seat in the chair. So those are your three modifications for a squat. Third exercise is calf raises. So calf raises don't tend to be as tough on our knees. However, just having the weight distributed from our entire foot to just our toes can cause some pressure on our knees. So to preview what a normal calf raise looks like, we start with our feet shoulder width apart as most lower body exercises go. We can have our hands on our hips. We come up on those toes, squeezing the calf muscles, and then we come back down. So side view here, feet shoulder width apart. We come up on their toes, staying nice and straight throughout, engaging that core, and then we come back down. So your modification, if you have that knee pain or maybe even your balance is challenged and you find that you can't do a calf raise fully, you can do it in the chair. So we sit down in our chair, we scoot forward so that our core isn't engaged still, our lower body is still engaged and taking most of the weight. We have our feet shoulder width apart still, and then we raise up on those toes, really engaging that calf muscle, squeezing that calf muscle, and then coming back down. So really what we're doing is we're taking a lot of the weight off of our legs, but we're still doing that full range of motion with that calf raise. So again, normal calf raise, we are standing tall, we come up on our toes, and we come back down. Your modification is doing it seated as well. Our fourth and final exercise today is exercises that you typically would do on the floor. So anytime that we put pressure on our knees when we're on the floor, that can cause some pain and discomfort. So I'll show you a couple different things that you can do to help ease that pain. The first thing is adding in a padded mat, a pillow, any kind of thing that you can put underneath of your knees to take some of the pressure off. So for example, if we were gonna be getting on our hands and knees to do what we call a cat-cow, which is a pretty common yoga pose, but it involves putting the knees on the mat, you can place that mat, pillow, blanket, anything that's gonna take or cause a little bit of cushion, and you can place it up under your knees, and then you can still do that cat-cow. So for example, we come up, we push through the shoulder blades, and then we arch that back and push through the glutes for that cat-cow. So that is one modification, just placing something under the knees. The other modification, if you absolutely do not feel comfortable getting on the floor, is using a chair. So same exact position, we're just not on our knees. So what you do is you place your hands on either side of that chair, you keep your legs nice and straight, and then you still do that cat-cow. So you push through the shoulder blades, and then you release and push through the glutes and arch that back. So a couple different modifications for those exercises that we tend to do on the floor. Those can be the most intimidating, but you can always grab onto a chair, even the back of the chair, for extra support to take those pressures off of your knees. All right, so now we have our mighty moment for today. This is a quote from Jeanette, one of our members here at Mighty Health. She says, "I'm getting stronger, my stamina is getting better, plus I'm just so proud of myself for doing what was very intimidating at first. I want to be one of those fun, active grandmas for my 6 grandkids." That's super incredible. We're super proud of Jeanette for facing her intimidating fears of lifestyle change and exercise and doing what's right for herself and her family. So great job, Jeanette. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you all next time.